That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Drove me nuts. There was nobody there, so and the one guy that was there, he was looking at something most of the time.
Looks like a vicious Muppet right there.
SEMA. Nice. iPhone is here. You know, I don't know why. There's so many iPhones that show up.
Yeah, iPhone stalking us, I think.
SEMA, where you hail from?
I am in Nepal. Hello, Greg, and hello, Kevin. Hi, Andrew.
Hi.
Hey guys.
You're hailing from where? Where are you?
Nepal. It's 7:45 a.m. here.
Nepal.
Yes, in the land of Mount Everest.
That's right. No, so wow.
Can you see it from your house or from where you are?
Yeah, it's in my backyard.
Oh, you can see it? You can actually look out and see Mount Everest.
Well, you can see the Himalayan ranges, not the Everest
Okay.
peak, but you can see the range, yes.
That's still pretty dramatic.
Well, you are our first from Nepal, so congratulations.
Thank you.
That's very nice.
And that's one of the greatest things about these Zoom classes. It's like bridges these huge distances. It's really wonderful.
Yeah.
It is. iPhone, are you there?
I wonder if it's 11 or 10. iPhone 11 or iPhone
Are you
10.
no, that'd be 11 or a 12. They got 12s out now. Come on.
iPhone XR. Yeah, I know. I just got mine's 2 years old now. So, and mine, I thought it was so great.
iPhone.
It's a 10.
Hey, iPhone.
iPhone. Well, put your name on it, dude.
Brandon. I'm in LA.
Brandon.
Okay, that's nice. Good. Hi, Brandon. Glad you're here with us.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Sit
Glad
down
to be
for a while because soon we'll get nauseous if you're moving around. So we're roller coaster here with you. Well, where you hail from, Brandon?
Excuse me?
Where are you calling in from?
Oh, LA. I'm in LA.
What part?
Van Nuys.
Van Nuys. Okay.
Yeah.
I live in Canyon Country, so a little around the corner and out towards Lancaster there and stuff. So
I've lived in Van Nuys before. 14803 Van Owen, to be exact.
14803. Yeah, I'm on Satakoy.
All right.
Let's go burn it down, Brandon.
Yeah. Van Nuys, the center of the Southland.
Yeah.
It doesn't, for some reason.
Better learn to speak Spanish. All right. So try to be funny. What's your name?
Hi.
Bring in the background there. Yeah. Okay, Ella. Did I get Ella? Is that right? Hightower?
Yes, I'm getting there.
All right, Ella. Where do
You can hear me?
Yes, we can. Where are you calling from?
I am in Phoenix City, Alabama.
What, Phoenix? Wow, good for you.
Yeah.
Nice, Alabama. Been there a few times, but just passing through.
Oh,
Like 4 or 5 times. So it's used to
in
travel.
Phoenix City?
No,
don't
I don't
see the
remember
button.
being there. No, I don't. Where was I in Alabama?
I probably should stay out of the video, but
Well, it's better if you put the light in front of you.
oh. You can see my teeth and eyes.
Yeah, we see your eyes. I think those are glasses we're seeing right now.
That's pretty creepy.
You look like an alien.
I don't know if I want people
There
to see
you
me.
go. All right.
Hey,
There you
go.
go. That's okay. Good.
That's okay. It's a
Yeah.
comedy show.
It is. It is. Okay. Try. Okay. Where you're calling from Alabama? Is that right? That was right.
Yes.
That's right. So Brandon is Nanais and Seema is from Nepal. Over there.
Nepal.
Nepal, right?
Nepal.
Wow.
Yeah, she's in the mountains. She lives in the mountains there, where the part of Africa broke off and went up and ran right into India and just created those mountains.
Wow.
Interesting to watch it. It's in the Natural History Museum here in LA, and they actually showed it. The piece broke off from the bottom of Africa and went right up and then created the mountains there and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And the Serpas and the this and the that.
Yeah, interesting. Andrew, good to see you again.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Kevin, you know where I'm from. I'm from NoHo. You know Ho's
Yeah,
there.
that's right. He's from NoHo. NoHo's there.
Can't get laid if there's no hoe. So
Where is it?
just watch out there. So you bring
I
it up for
recently
everybody
moved to
there.
Echo Park.
What is a dinner for you? Come on. Okay, try to be funny. Are you there? Try to be funny. Oh,
Hi, can you hear me?
yes, we can.
Oh, okay. I thought I was on mute the whole time, but I'm from China actually. So
China, can you let us see
you just can't escape China today.
Okay. Well, okay, good enough.
That's great, man.
If you can get your voice here, we're happy.
Okay, because the camera's not working at the moment. I'm trying to figure this out.
What part of China? It's a big place, and there's some part China, part Western Taipei, and you know, Hong Kong, and you know.
I'm from Guangzhou. It's actually pretty near Hong Kong, like 1 hour train from Hong Kong.
Okay, so that area. All right, good. All right.
Yeah.
You know, so I know a little bit, you know, about.
But you know, I read your book in China.
Nice, thank you. I was wondering if anybody had. Thank you. I'm so happy. Yeah, my book's in China, and I didn't know if anybody was reading it over there. We get a really good. My agent gets a really good royalty check once a year, so I can only assume.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's quite the Bible out there. I mean, if we talk about comedy theory or book, it would be yours.
Oh, that's great. See, we were making plans to come to China.
That's great.
And then, you know, COVID hit.
Because the business is like thriving at the moment, and they have like very huge TV shows. That's I think they bought the copyright of the toast, from Comedy Central. So they brought
the roast. It's called the roast. Yeah.
Yeah, they brought the roast. Yeah, they brought that concept to China and put it on TV.
Nice.
So people like it.
Yeah, you come from a very, very polite culture. So when people start ragging on each other, bagging on each other, it's funny.
Well, let's say if they put that on TV, it's not as harsh as what we see on Comedy Central. But I mean, we're trying to get there.
Well, you know, comedy will begin to strip layers of social propriety away. That's what happened in our culture. It started essentially with Lenny Bruce. He was the first comedian to talk about what was on. Well, he wasn't just telling jokes to tell jokes, right? He was the first one who caught up and talked about what was on his mind, which was politics and race and religion and drugs and sex. And this was in the early 50s. And of course, he got in a lot of trouble and thrown in jail and, you know, all kinds of things. And but it opened up the door. It went to the Supreme Court. They said, oh, he's allowed, you know, different things. You know, in America, basically, it's not against the law to be offensive.
Definitely. I sometimes watch
freedom of speech.
Yeah, good. That's great. I'm glad you're here from China. You're coming in nice, loud and clear and stuff. So excellent.
Oh, great. I thought it was mute all the time, but
no, and we're glad to hear you. And if you can, you know, et cetera, I'm just glad you can get a signal out of China. So
well, that's I try hard, you know.
You know, and I want to stay in touch with you. We should stay in touch in some way. If you take the class, we will. But if not, I still want to stay in touch because I don't really know. There's one American doing stand-up in China, and I talked to him, and he was being a little standoffish about kind of.
Do you have
like protecting something, like he had something?
Maybe I have heard of his name. Do you have his name?
I have. You know what? I've got it somewhere. I when he wouldn't, you know, and it was like a year. It was before COVID. It was like 6 months.
Oh, okay. I know a guy, American guy, who's doing stand-up comedy in Chinese, but I think he's from Boston. I'm not sure if
that might be the guy. Anyways, Dan or David or something. Daryl. Anyway, it doesn't
remember.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all going to start at 10 after. That's usually it. We'll let people kind of check in with us and stuff like that and everything. Julian, good to see you again. Yes, he's the only guy who smokes in class. So
Wow.
smokes, eats, farts, does all kinds of stuff during the class. So he's an interesting guy. So, oh, yeah, Andrew's joined. So Venmo. Okay, is that you want money, Mr. Ven? No, it's Venno. You there, Venno? MP14. Okay.
For a moment, he did come on camera for a moment.
For a moment. Okay, so he
Yeah.
flashed us.
Yeah, he did.
Nice flashing us. All right, that's good. Andrew, what are you doing, man?
What am I doing?
Okay, no, don't talk with your mouth full. You can answer it later. All right.
You caught me on the spot there.
It's what I call a waitress or a waiter question. They always ask you, do you need anything just as you take a bite? And then, I think they do it on purpose. So you just don't say, yeah, I need that. You're going, and then they leave. So, well, I call it a waiter question.
Yes.
If I was a waiter,
get
that's
it.
what I would do. You need anything else? Okay, I'll be back later. Thank you. That's good.
Greg, to be honest with you, last night I got booked at the Hotel Cafe. It's right off of Hollywood. Yeah, I don't know how I did it.
That place. Yeah, I've been over there. I've seen.
Yeah, and I was looking at my phone a little too much. They would have used me a little more.
Hard to have a relationship with the audience when you're talking to your phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, it's you've turned into a millennial, dude.
But I had a good set. I had a really funny set. I got some laughs, but the only problem was they were like, "Why you keep looking at your phone?" I'm like, I didn't have my shit memorized, so.
Oh well, when you get up in public, that's always helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get one of these hats that holds your phone like right above your eyesight, right above the eye line, so you can kind of be cheating but still kind of looking at the audience.
And you can get a virtual reality headset so you can have the audience there and everything.
And you can also hire a midget to learn your show and whisper it into your ear.
Whisper it in your ear.
But I've seen professional comedians.
Or you can do this. Oh, I know what you can do. Rehearse.
Rehearse.
Yeah. Prepare a little bit. I don't know. So anyway,
that is what is holding me back is the rehearsal.
Holds everybody
time.
back. I got to put that time in.
You got to put the time in.
You do. Are we at 10 after or we're 13 after? Let's get going here. I'll start.
Hey, everybody.
Here.
I just want to, before we start, welcome you guys. It's Greg Dean's stand-up comedy classes. This is our free webinar. I'm Kevin Comstock. I am one of the teachers as well as the host for the open mic. If during the presentation there's a lot of background noise from you, I'm going to have to mute you. So please be aware of the sounds that are coming from other things around you. Don't be offended if I do mute you, and just politely unmute when you're ready to talk. If you have any questions, you can put the questions in the chat. You can also raise your hand by pressing the little reactions button on the bottom of the Zoom screen. Either way, if you don't want to interrupt, we can go ahead and put them in chat and we'll answer them all at the end. We're going to have a question and answer session at the very end. All right, let's do this.
There we go. So we did that. So that's just a few of the students I've had over the time that, anyway, this is what they're saying. I'll let them say it.
Who's Greg Dean? Someone told me there was free donuts and coffee. I was actually on the way to my other gig, so okay, just jokes. Greg Dean. Good, have a seat.
The number one important thing about comedy is your relationship with the audience. And that has helped me tremendously in improving as a comedian and as a person. And I think that it's changed my life, my whole way of thinking, taking this class. And so it's been quite a journey, and happy to be on it.
A lot of times you'll see comedians get up there and just talk. and they might have funny material, but they're not connecting to the audience, and it makes a huge difference. And with your structure, I mean, I can tell funny stories, but if I don't structure it right, it doesn't get the laugh that you need from an audience that pays to see you as opposed to your friends.
But the number one thing that I think Greg and Gayla have taught me is that I can do this, and I can be successful at doing this, and they've given me a lot of confidence.
And I look at comedians like your Eddie Murphys, your Robin Williams, and that's my type of personality. And I always wondered, like, how do they do what they do? And it's the structure.
There are a couple of great things about taking this class. One is you get a system that's plug and play, and if you're stuck in traffic, you can take whatever is annoying you and put it through there and turn shit into fertilizer.
I love the fact that he didn't try to instill in you how to be funny. If you were funny, great. If you weren't, some of us have learned what that's like.
His techniques have helped me to see, more about who I am as a person in this world.
You actually really care about us, which is surprising, because nobody in LA ever cares about their students.
He's taught me already that having a chemical and cultural imbalance may not be restrictive in terms of being a stand-up comic, and I hope he's right.
I always believed that most stand-up comedians aren't funny. And I took Greg's class, and because of the structure, now I can actually explain to someone why they're not funny. Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, I like him. That was Matt Sager. Yeah, he went back to Chicago or something, but he was really funny, as it were. So, Kev, take over.
All right. Let's do it. Welcome, everybody. It's our free webinar, Building a Routine. You're probably here because you are interested in building a routine. We're always wondering, how do we start? Where do we start from? That's what we're here to show you, what our class does to get you prepared. This is the live online classes. Greg, are you doing the deck? Oh, he must have stepped away or something. I'm gonna stop. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share, that way I can be in control of the deck. I apologize for this momentary. Oh no, I guess I'm back. There you go.
I'm right here. I'm right.
All
here.
right.
All
You
right.
want to do this
So
one?
congratulations, you guys made it. A lot of people didn't. There was almost 50 people signed up for this, and fear got in their way. They even to come and do something free. So congratulations, you put off your procrastination, or overcame your fear or whatever, just to come and take the next step, just to show up here and find out what there is to learn out there about stand-up comedy. So I just want to say congratulations, because it's a huge step just to be here doing this. The next step, we hope you take with us as well, yet this one's huge. So congratulations in doing that. So Kev, take over. It's all yours.
All right. So tonight we're gonna talk about building a routine, and we're gonna help you understand all the skills needed to write and organize a stand-up comedy routine. Comedians don't just get up there and have it work. They craft their shows. And here you go. That you're going to do building a routine tonight. We're going to talk about understanding joke structure. Jokes have a specific structure. We're going to talk about writing jokes, how you come up with jokes, improving your material, telling funny stories, organizing routines, managing stage fright, connecting with the audience, and being more confident. These are all things that we work on in our class, and we're going to give a little overview tonight. All right. And you're welcome to go ahead and sign up at any point. All you got to do is I'm going to put the link inside the chat right now. And you can just, if you know you already want to do it, you can go ahead and bypass the presentation, or you're welcome to stay. Either way, it's absolutely great to have you. Sometimes people will go by it and then they'll still come back and enjoy the presentation. So here we go. Who the expletive is Greg Dean? People ask that all the time. Who is Greg Dean? Well, we just heard that he is an author of the book Step by Step to Stand Up, which is available in multiple languages and We just had our first person that actually was from China that read the book. That was awesome. So that's really, really cool. It's cool, Greg. Isn't it just nice to know that it exists? Because you just assume it doesn't.
Really nice. It is really nice to know because well, you know, it's just nice to know. I know a lot of people in Indonesia, but I don't know a lot of people from China.
So we're working on some other languages for it, including Indonesian's done. Spanish is coming soon. There's talks of some other languages as well. And just as our friend Try to Be Funny said, the book has become sort of the Bible, the how-to Bible of how to become a comedian or even just be funnier in your life. Greg is a paid regular at the Comedy Store. His name is on the Wall of Fame. Now, not everybody that performs there gets their name on the Wall of Fame. In fact, it's really, really tough to get your name on the Wall of Fame. All those names are going all the way back to when the Comedy Store opened. Greg, do you know what year the Comedy Store opened?
No.
I don't either. That'd be a good piece of information for us. So anyways, Greg's a paid regular there. Next thing about Greg, he's been teaching stand-up comedy since 1982. He's the first stand-up comedy school in the entire world. He invented this trade. But wait, we're going to tell you about what makes the way we do things so much different than other comedy classes. Oh, okay, now it's time for Greg. He's going to talk a little bit right now. Go ahead, Greg. It's up to you.
Well, okay. And again, glad you're all here and stuff. So the first thing, I just wanted to set a frame for this whole thing. For me, as best I could figure out in the world, the only shortcut to learning anything that's difficult and complex is knowing and using the fundamental techniques. That's it. You go to music school, you learn those fundamental techniques. Go to dance, you learn, you know, all the fundamental techniques, even of different styles, modern dance versus, or even ballroom and jazz and anything. There's techniques behind every one of those. Every sports has a series of fundamentals that people need to be excellent at as well. And so learning those fundamental techniques is the only shortcut. It's the way to really learn the craft of what you're doing. So here's kind of the situation. In the beginning, 1982, there were no fundamentals. There was nothing. I mean, really, there was nothing. There was a book on how to write for radio. It wasn't even a comedy book. It was how to write for radio. And some of the shows were comedy shows. So I'm talking about radio like 1930s and 1940s, where radio was the only kind of medium that people has before television. And that was the only book that was out, and I read it. It was okay, but it wasn't any fundamentals in it about anything except for writing for radio. So that brought up the thing is, what are the fundamentals for stand-up? Well, it took me a lot of years, but again, deciding, I broke it down to like principles, techniques, skills that you're going to learn and all. And then I had to develop a process. The process for developing the fundamentals. And here's what I discovered, and this is what I've been doing for a lot of years. My job is to identify a technique. For instance, if you're doing crowd work, hi, hello, what do you need? What's your name? What do you do for a living with the audience, talking to the audience? I identified, didn't make it up. I identified it's called misunderstanding. So you purposefully misunderstand what somebody says and turn that into a joke. For instance, I was at the Comedy Store and there was a couple. I said, "Are you a couple?" And the guy said, "More or less." And I looked at his girlfriend and I said, "He just said you're moralless." And it went from there. Okay. She's like, "You called me moral." She didn't hear it. I think I broke up that couple that night. And what's the point of doing comedy if you can't destroy relationships? I mean, come on. Part of the fun of the whole thing. So there's a technique. So what I do then, once I identified it, is then turn it into an exercise, which I did in my classes. And everybody did the exercise a whole bunch and practiced it. And from that, you end up having the skill, not just knowing what misunderstanding is, me saying, "Oh, it's purposefully misunderstanding it," and saying something different okay? But they could actually do it. They would talk to an audience and misunderstand. They could now do it as a skill. Everything I teach follows this template, okay? That's my job, is really to identify the techniques, turn them into an exercise, and then I teach you those exercises, and then you will have those as a skill that you can practice, get better at, and then apply that skill to your sense of humor, not mine. You apply it your way, not my way. See, and that's what's nice about techniques and principles, is you apply them with your sense of humor, okay? And that's one of the important reasons I work this way, is because I'm not trying to pass on my sense of humor. I'm trying to help you articulate your sense of humor. And there are a lot of fundamentals that help you do that, or kind of shortcuts. Again, the only shortcut, fundamentals, the fundamentals. Okay, so let's keep going here. And all the exercises I do in class that I just kind of explained to everybody are done in class. They're done in class. We do them with you. Okay, so you can ask questions if you misunderstand. We'll be right there and you'll go through it. They have questions and we'll help you until you can do it. Then we'll give you an assignment for it, for some of them. You'll take it home, work on it, come back the next week, and we will review that in the class as well. So everything we're teaching, we're doing. We're not just saying, here it is, we're doing it. You're going to actually practice everything in class. All right. So we also offer, I've learned how to offer a safe environment for everybody, creating a thing I call solution feedback. It comes from a branch of what they call positive psychology, where you're always working on the solutions. So that's what we do. I don't allow criticism in the class. For me, my staff, and thank you, Kev, and everyone else that we're with, that we recognize things that need to be worked on. Okay, you just don't have to, say, you did that, you did that terrible, you suck. You don't need to say that part. You just need to say the part, oh, if you rewrote it this way, then your misdirection would be clearer. Oh, you're right, that's better. Oh, that's the reaction we want. We give you a solution for everything. And we can do that because we're teaching techniques and principles. There's actually something that we're going to be teaching you like you would if you were doing a sport. Oh, you need to go work on your free throws in basketball. So go and basketball and work on your free throws. That's what you need to do. Maybe you need a coach to help you learn how to stand better and throw better, or use your wrist, or how to stand, whatever it is. Well, they'll help you with that. We do the same thing with the solution. Next is all the fixes. We do a lot of fixing stuff. We use the techniques, and we will explain those techniques to you. We just don't fix, let's say, shorten a joke in some way or rewrite it in some way. We don't just do it and go, oh, that's better. I like it better. No, we don't do that. We say, here's the technique I used to rewrite that joke. Now, the next time this comes up, just apply this technique to this situation. And then you can go home and work on that on your own. We'll explain them to you, because that's what we're doing, is we're explaining these techniques so you can work at them with skills and learn how to do them for yourself. And there's a misnomer that open mic people say, oh, the only way you can do comedy is get up and do it. Go out to the open mic. Well, that's one way. It's not the only way anymore. Not since I've been around. Open mics used to be the only, it's not anymore. There are classes. You be careful about the classes and make sure they actually teach you something, which I'm known for. That's why my books are being published all over the world, is because these techniques work despite language or culture, a technique for comedy is a technique for comedy, and it's universal. Okay, misunderstanding, every culture can use that. They'll use different language and different ways that they'll handle it. Yet that technique is universal, and I can teach it around the world, and have actually, and I'm doing right now.
Can I make a comment?
Please do.
With open mic, I find it so much work, because you have to practice, and then you don't get anything. You don't get paid, or you can't even put a bucket there to get funny. It's so much work.
It is a lot of work, and that comes with the territory. Most people don't get paid for several years, until to really get paid in America, you need to develop 30 minutes worth of worked out material. That's your first goal. And we work with people on that because we're kind of a trade school. We teach you the fundamental techniques in this class, and then we have a more advanced class where you work on shows and develop material. And then we have other classes about how to go about and get into the industry and stuff. So
I see.
Yet the place it starts is you got to know the fundamentals. Everybody is required to take this class. Everybody. I had a guy who had been doing professional stand-up for 13 years. And he was smart enough to put his ego aside and took this class. And he just, after every class, he'd come and go, "Oh my God, where were you when I first began?" And then he learned so much. Anyway, he's now, he stopped, he's working all the time until COVID. He was a full-time comedian after that. I mean, then he did, from there he did a Comedy Central special in Mexico. There's a thing called Comedy Central Mexico, Comedy Central station that's Spanish speaking. And he's got, and he tours all over Latin America. And, and once he took the class, his career just exploded. It was just really interesting. So just what the point is, just doing open mics is not the only training ground, because they can do a lot of damage in certain ways. And Kevin's going to tell you about that.
Yeah, so why should I take a class instead of doing open mics? Well, as Ella was telling us, open mics are the school of hard knocks. They are not always the best place to learn because you're not learning from necessarily the best people. There's only one shortcut to make you get further faster, and that is to learn fundamentals. Anybody who does anything good on the entire earth learned it from a coach, mentor, or teacher. Everybody who does anything well. Learning the fundamentals is the only shortcut. Our goal for you is to get you performing at 5 or more laughs per minute. 5 or more laughs per minute. That's the commodity. If you can do 30 minutes at 5 or more laughs per minute, you can actually become a working comedian. We have a safe place to be bad. All of us push the threshold and feel insecure and do all this weird stuff. And we have a place where we're very supportive. We will become your stand-up comedy support system. We give you the support on and off stage, and you can collaborate with experienced comedians. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to it. So why else instead of doing open mics? A lot of times at open mics, you develop bad performing habits. If you've been to an open mic, there's one thing you hear at the end of almost every open micer show. That's my time. Don't get that habit. That's my time. Great students quickly move past the open mic phase and get booked into comedy rooms. Comedy rooms are the rooms where the better shows are starting to happen. You might even be getting some pay. You can't go from open mics and go as fast in open mics because Greg has 40 years of performing and teaching. And if you add up all the years of our staff, it's probably 600 or 700 years of performing and teaching. We say you can save 4 to 6 years of development time. So I think it's fair to say you can save 5 years of development time. All right. You want to do this one or am I doing it?
Yeah, I'll take over from here. Okay. So now it's about understanding joke structure. This is what I'm really known for because I invented the term joke structure because there wasn't joke structure before I started introducing joke structure. So first of all, let me just get some terms right. When I say joke, I'm referring to a single unit of humor. Okay. People say, "Oh, you mean one-liner?" Yeah, a one-liner, that's one type, but I'm also saying a joke exists in a story. That joke, if we're laughing at it because of humor, it's a joke. If it's in a cartoon, like a one-panel cartoon, Gary Larson or some of the other, wow, okay, that's also a joke. A laugh in a sketch, in a sitcom, in a movie, silent movie, who just does it without language. They do it with body language and props and all kinds of stuff. Okay, let's say the jokes in Ventriloquist Act for SEMA. Okay, which character sets it up, pays it off, et cetera, et cetera. So the joke structure is different. The joke structure is the same. The presentation is now different because she wouldn't be doing one-liners because she's doing a dialogue with her figure, with her character. It's a different, same joke structure, different presentation. Takes more skills, of ventriloquist skills. There's many that she needs to learn. Okay, so also all jokes, let's say all jokes have 2 parts and 3 mechanisms. That's what I'll be teaching you. That's joke structure. Setup and punch is not joke structure. It's just one way of presenting humor. Okay, it's all over the internet. We'll teach you joke structure, setup and punch. That's not joke structure. It's like going to a music school and saying, I want to learn the fundamentals of music. And they say, okay, song, orchestra, opera. Wait, those are not fundamentals. Those are just different ways of expressing music. That's right. Setup and punch is not joke structure or humor structure. It's just one of the ways we present humor, and that's called a one-liner. That's one of the ways we do it. Storytelling, doing, work, she's saying it's a ventriloquist, magicians, jugglers, it's all kinds of people that do all kinds of things with their work. So once you understand joke structure, once you understand it, first of all, you can identify a joke. This is huge. I work privately with people all over the world who come in with these books and books and books of ideas for routines and jokes. And I'll say, okay, read me one. And they'll read me an entire paragraph. It'll be 100 words or more, 200 words. And I'll go, oh, there's one joke in this. Is this the joke you're trying to say? And they'll go, oh, yeah. Oh, well, I've cut it down to like 15 or 20 words. Because I know where the joke is. I could say that's the joke. Now I clean that up and then I help them tag it and then add more jokes to it or whatever, turn it into a routine. That's fine. But the point is you can identify where the joke is. Once you understand joke structure, you can fix jokes. You see, it's a thing I call, to me, laughter isn't the reason to find it to be a joke. Structure is what creates the joke. So it's a joke is the structure. Because some jokes, there's so many things out there that can do what I call take a good joke and kill the laughter. It's still a really good joke, but you do it wrong, you can kill the laughter. So laughter is not the definition of a good joke, okay? Of what a joke is. Laughter, maybe what a good joke is, maybe that's in there. So the idea is we can fix jokes because you'll know what the mechanisms are and go, oh, we need to rewrite it this way, do this to it, et cetera, and fix it. Because if it's at the center of it, at its core, it's got something that the first part is something very expected, and the second part is something very unexpected, which is very surprising. Chances are you can write that into a really good joke. If you get all the writing problems out and the performing problems that kill laughter. And there are a lot of them out there. And that's one of the other reasons take a class to learn those. And the other one is write jokes at will. I can teach you to write jokes within minutes. I've proven it. I used to do it on the radio. I'll teach anybody to write a joke in 2 minutes. And I did hundreds of them. Okay. And I didn't succeed once because it was the producer and all he did was say, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And then the DJ wrote a joke. So hundreds of times I can do this. This is not, once you understand joke structure, it's easy to write jokes. It's hard to find the jokes that are true and honest of your authentic self. That's still a challenge, not writing jokes themselves. It's finding those ones that are just so perfect for you. Next is writing material overall, not just joke structure, but the writing of material. You can wait for that bolt of lightning of creativity, or you can learn some systems that I've got where you can write a joke at any time on any subject. I'm going to teach you 5 different ways of generating material, 5 methods, 5. One of them is what I call the joke prospector. It is a joke writing system that I invented, that I wrote, I created. And it's the only joke writing system that I know anywhere that takes you start with nothing and end with a one-liner joke. It has a setup and a punch, okay? Now, that's not the only way we do it. I'm just saying when you're first learning, if you can write a one-liner really well, you can then learn to write all the other kind of jokes in dialogue and other things and from characters, etc. The first thing you need to know is what a joke is and be able to start to write them and identify them. So that's that joke writing. And we'll be writing some one-liners. We'll be telling funny stories. Okay, we'll start with a story and build the funny inside that. We're going to have writing groups so you can collaborate and you can use other talents. SEMA is doing that right there. Okay, this guy's Armando Anto. You can look him up. He's a world-class violinist. He came to me, took my class. He understood discipline, he understood technique, and he just did everything I taught him to do. Well, watch him.
I'm going to play a sad love song, and it means my love for you is eternal. I can actually be serious. That's I can play something more American.
So he uses his violin to get laughs. Now he's already put out a comedy special. He was a headlining comedian being paid within 1 year and 3 months of taking this class. They asked him how he did it. He looked at people and said, I just did everything Greg taught me to do. It's simple. For him, it was simple. Greg taught me this stuff and I went and did all those things the way he taught me to do them and apply them to my own sense of humor. And he got on it and did all, it's all, so it's there in front of you if you want to, if you can do it. Him and others. So anyway, next, improving jokes, important. There are many reasons jokes don't get laughs. In other words, it's a good joke, doesn't get a laugh. There's a lot of technical things in the writing and technical things in the performing. Once you learn the proper way to write jokes, you can identify by identifying the jokes, you can write them. You write them more concisely, eliminate comics cliches, which Kevin was talking about earlier. He doesn't like the way show ends. I don't like the way most of them start. Go to an open mic. If there's 30 of them, all 30 of them will come out and say, hi, how you all doing this evening?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want to start your show exactly the way 29 other people just did?
Yeah.
Why? Why would you do? Apply comedy grammar. I'm going to teach you comedy grammar. There are guidelines for how to write setups and how to write punches and how to write the first part, second part, how to write jokes and use them in stories and in dialogue. There's rules that help you articulate your sense of humor clearly to the audience. And that's what it's about. You don't want the audience to ever have to think or figure out anything at all. One of my principles, you don't want them to think, you want them to instantly respond to that joke. Not take out that, instantly be able to resolve the incongruity that they get from the joke. So one of those is learning how to improve jokes to write them more with the proper grammar in them and stuff as well. Creating strong premises. Premise in the dictionary says a statement from which you develop a further argument. And in comedy, that further argument is made with jokes. Okay, Kevin, take over for me for a minute.
So once again, the premise is a statement which you develop a further argument, and in comedy, the argument is made with jokes. The premise, it's nice to start your routine. If you want an example of somebody who starts his routine, look at Rodney Dangerfield, I Get No Respect. Look at Chris Rock. Every segment he talks about, he says the premise multiple times. He says if the audience doesn't know the premise, the audience doesn't laugh. It states a message, and as you develop your comedic voice, you're going to want to have your own message. After all, you're doing this for a reason. The premise keeps the routine on track. It gives a framework for the audience to follow, to follow your leadership in your story and communication. It tells the audience what to expect, and as I said just a moment ago, it helps you establish your comic voice. All right, here's Peter Kay, and Peter Kay has his premise. He says it very clearly, and he gives examples of the premise through jokes. In this, he uses audio clips for some of his punches, and for some of his jokes, they're not punches because they're audio clips. All right, let's see this.
But they are punches. They are. He
Yeah.
does the jokes with the audio clip. Here we go.
You all know about a karaoke. When you're singing on a karaoke, you haven't got a clue that those were words. I was singing Take That, Back for Good. Wash your back, wash your back, wash your back. Want your back? What's this? Want your back? I've been singing Wash Your Back 15 years. It's only when you go on a karaoke and you see lyrics, that's what they're supposed to be singing. You know that song, We Are Family? For years I thought they were singing, Just Let Me Staple the Vicar. Right? Who's right and who's wrong here? Listen.
All of the people around us, they say, can they be that close? Just let me state for the record.
That's what they sing. Just let me staple the vicar. What's all that about?
Just let me state for the record.
I love how he gets that second laugh on the same audio clip. It's so good the first time that everybody laughs the second time. So you need to go ahead and check out that routine of Peter Kay on YouTube. And it goes on for like 7 or 10 minutes. The whole premise is you don't know the lyrics of the songs until you see them when you do karaoke. That's his premise. The whole idea of his 7 or 8 minutes goes around that. Now let's talk about what sets us apart. I think it's really important that you take a look at what other comedy classes have to offer. We teach techniques, not opinions. If we say, oh, that wasn't funny, that doesn't help you. You already knew it wasn't funny because we didn't laugh. We don't have to point that out. Instead of saying that's not funny, we could say, why don't you try that from a different point of view? We'll get more into that in the class. Our teachers are all certified in Greg Dean's system. Greg puts us through the equivalent of the SAT for comedy several times a week. It's a step-by-step system. It really is a step-by-step system. You will learn how to write jokes from nothing. Do you still get inspired and write jokes other ways? Yeah. But we have a system so you don't have to wait for that bolt of creativity. We give solution feedback, not criticism. Again, criticism doesn't make anybody any better at anything. And we don't have any censorship except clear and present danger. We don't want you to do anything that poses a threat towards anybody else in the class or any jokes about posing a threat towards anything. All right, so it's Building a Routine 101. It's 5 weeks long. You're going to start off learning about joke structure because you got to know what a joke is if you're going to be writing jokes. You start joke writing, and then we go into the 4 principles. The 4 principles are the framework to which your routine hangs. Premise and ranting is the next thing we talk about, and you'll rant. And one thing that we haven't mentioned is that we do have homework. Now, we ask you to do 10 minutes of homework every single day. 10 minutes. And it's better to do 10 minutes a day than to wait to the end and do 60 or 70 minutes because you're learning a new way of thinking. And we want this thinking to affect your subconscious because good stand-up cannot be only done with the conscious mind. Class 2, we're going to take your rants and we're going to go ahead and start turning the rants into more jokes. We're going to talk about telling funny stories. A lot of people say, oh, I don't want to do one-liners. I want to tell funny stories. That's not an excuse for less laughs. You still have to have the jokes and the joke structure to make the stories funny. We're going to take class 3. We're going to do more storytelling, telling funny stories, and then we're going to get into jokes and storytelling. The structure's the same, but the skills are more advanced. We're going to talk about the rehearsal process. We got a great rehearsal process. It helps you encode your comedy in pictures, sounds, and feelings so you don't memorize the words. If you memorize words, you go blank. But if you remember pictures, you don't go blank. We're going to help you rewrite your routine and rehearse your routine and perform your routine. The whole thing is going to culminate in class 5 with a 1-minute show. We're going to have you do the show a couple different times with different interpretations of the show. Why a 1-minute show? Well, in 5 weeks, you can't write a 20-minute show. But in 5 weeks, we can help you get to the point where you can write a 1-minute show at 5 or more laughs per minute. And we do what's called teacher independent teaching. We're going to teach you how to do this for yourself. So you don't have to always be with us. But if you want to be with us, we are your comedy support system. We can provide all that. All right, now's your time. Turn your dreams into reality. Remember, the only way to get a shortcut in this business is to learn technique. In fact, that's the only shortcut in doing anything well. Now, there is a payment link in the chat. I'll pop it in again right now. You're welcome to go to that link and sign up. If you go ahead and put in code 50Greg off, you'll get $50 off.
Yeah, and I'm glad my name is not Jack.
Yes.
And you can always check our websites to sign up as well.
Oh, Jack off.
Now we're going to go into telling funny stories. Greg, you taking this one?
Yeah, I am. I've got a headset now because there's some noise in the neighborhood and this cuts it out. So this is helpful. So telling funny stories, one-liners is the only way, one of many ways of communicating funny. Storytelling is far more complex. The joke structure is the same, but the presentation is far more complex in storytelling. That's why people say, I don't want to do one-liners, I want to do so. You want to do storytelling, that's fine. There's a lot more skills involved in telling a story that you have to be good at, as well as writing good jokes. Okay, you've got to learn how to set up the situations. You're dealing with the comedy in situations. You're portraying and acting out the characters that are in your show. You're staging act outs, the scenes, you're staging. You got to stage them right or they're unclear. I see that all the time. You're writing jokes for dialogue, okay, for the scenes and the dialogue in the scenes. You need to do space work and object work correctly, because if you violate the reality of the scene you're doing, right, you know, that if you're drinking something, all of a sudden that glass disappears, the audience is like, what happened? Now they're not enjoying the comedy, they're noticing that you've broken reality. So you've got to keep the reality of the scene and a lot more. Again, the joke structure is the same. The presentation of storytelling has far more skills that you need to be good at. So here's John Mulaney. Notice all the different things. He's not doing one-liners. Watch him. He's telling a story. He's bouncing around, acting out things, holding bags, walking, being people, doing stuff, reacting. Watch this. It's very different than watching Stephen Wright.
I'm changing between subway trains, right? And it's 2 o'clock in the morning, okay? And you have to walk down this long corridor in order to change trains. 2 o'clock in the morning, it's just me and this woman. And she's walking a few yards ahead of me, and we're walking down, and she starts giving me like the over the shoulder, like that, you know, like looking. And then she starts to pick up the pace. She starts to walk a lot faster. So I think, oh, she must hear the train coming. You know, or she feels it in her feet like a Native American in a movie. So I start to sprint down the hallway at her, and she looks back and she's like, ah! And then she gives chase, so now we're like booking it down the corridor at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gaining on her. I'm gaining on her, and we're getting to the end of the hallway, and she's going into that like dead end shuffle, you know, that women do when you chase them. And I'm almost there. I'm almost at her, and then it dawns on me. Oh! She's running from me. Because in her eyes, I'm an adult. And adults rape each other.
He is a funny man. So let's look at this story, though, for a moment. Where do you think this story started at? This is what I have to hypothesize, because I've never talked to him about it, and I'd like to. I think this story started with He was late at night in a subway walking, and he sees a woman in front of him, and she starts walking faster. So he starts running because he thinks the train's coming. And as they run and get to the platform, he realized, oh, she's running from me. That's all the story was. Now, what do we do with that? A lot of people think, oh, you've got to bring in the whole story that's really funny, or the whole bit, or the whole routine. No, you bring in an idea, and then we fill in routines with jokes. We'll teach you how to do this. There are dozens of spaces begging for us to fill it in with the jokes for a routine or a story. There's dozens of techniques to add jokes. Okay, we're going to teach you these things. This is huge, to fill in the jokes. Now, I'm going to play this clip again, and over here in the right hand of the frame, the little graphic will come in when I believe he actually added and wrote a joke for this story that wasn't part of the original incident that created this. The more he told this story, so understand, funny stories and routines are developed. They're not just written. They're developed over time, okay? And adding more and more jokes to it, learning how to fill in jokes. And so this is a very important skill. Here we go. Watch it.
I'm changing between subway trains, right? And it's 2 o'clock in the morning, okay? And you have to walk down this long corridor in order to change trains. 2 o'clock in the morning, it's just me and this woman. And she's walking a few yards ahead of me. And we're walking down, and she starts giving me like the over the shoulder, like that, you know, like look at it. And then she starts to pick up the pace. She starts to walk a lot faster. So I think, oh, she must hear the train coming. You know, or she feels it in her feet like a Native American in a movie. So I start to sprint down the hallway at her, and she looks back and she's like, ah! And then she gives chase, so now we're like booking it down the corridor at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gaining on her. I'm gaining on her, and we're getting to the end of the hallway, and she's going into that like dead end shuffle, you know, that women do when you chase them. And I'm almost there. I'm almost at her, and then it dawns on me. Oh, she's running from me. Because in her eyes, I'm an adult. And adults rape each other.
Boy, I think he filled that, you know, he started out with a very simple story and filled it full of jokes. And look at that, you know, I mean, those are some really good jokes, and he keeps telling the story. I bet you if we saw him tell the story again today, there'd have even more jokes in it, because he'll keep adding jokes to it the more he tells it. So again, learning how to add jokes, fill routines and stories with jokes is a huge skill into itself, and we've got many techniques for doing that. So next is organizing jokes into routines. Okay, oh, you got a whole bunch of jokes came from different places. What do you do with all those jokes? Well, you need to know your BCAs. And here's your BCAs. You put your B material at the opening, you put your C material in the middle, and you end with your A material. This is a technique right here. This is one of them that we actually teach in the class and use all the time. It's the way to build a routine and how to organize your routines into a show. You start out with your second best, put your weaker material in between, and then you close with your best. Okay, so you start with your second best so you can get the audience. That makes your C material stronger because they're already laughing, and your A close with your A material, and then your show is rocking and rolling by the end, and then that's what they remember is the A material at the end. Wow, that's very powerful, not just for routines, but for shows as well. I've actually worked with professional comedians on this. They were like, I don't know how to order it. So we looked at the recordings of their shows and reordered their shows for specials and stuff, or things on late night TV, so that the show would build properly. Yeah, And that's a technique. That's one of the techniques we actually will be teaching you and working with you on, so that you get an example of the techniques. Again, we don't tell you how to do it. We just give you the technique, then you apply it your way and to your sensibilities. Next is managing stage fright. Huge, important. The butterflies may never go away. What you want to do is train them to fly in formation. Those butterflies are going to be pulling you all kinds of different directions with crazy images in your head. We can get them all to fly toward getting excited and doing the show and using that energy to entertain people. Now you're managing it. It may not ever go away, yet we manage it, turn it into excitement, use that in the show itself. Okay, so that's really important. Now there's certain things that we do to help you manage it. First of all, the number one fear that I found, a friend of mine wrote a book called No More Butterflies. He's a professor, full professor at a major university. And it was written based upon his research, actually, scientific research. He did research. He found out that most people have, when they're afraid to do something, it's a fear of the unknown. Fear of the unknown. You don't know what to expect. You don't know what's going on in there. Okay, so what do? We repeatedly get you up in class and have you perform and write and get to know these things in the safe environment of the classroom. So we're taking away a lot of that unknown. You're going, oh, that's what it's like to perform, but you're in a safe place. That's how to write a joke. Oh, let's try it. This is how I fix a joke, etc. You go through those. Somebody called it a series of machinations that you go through to start writing jokes, to build a routine. There's a series of things that you need to do to build that routine. Okay, so as you get more familiar with them, they're not nearly as frightening, especially the performing parts of it. Next is feeling unprepared. That creates enormous amounts of fear in people, feeling like you don't know what you're doing. And so that's what this class is for. This whole class is all just about that. Not just giving you the skills, but then you'll end up with this, we're saying a 1 minute show with 5+ laughs per minute. I've had students put as many as 9 laughs in that 1 minute. I'm serious. As many as 9 laughs in that 1 minute. Now they're using tags, but they learned joke structure, learned all these ways of writing jokes. They learned how to tell stories and stage them. I used my rehearsal to make the show so you can remember it and tell it like a story. And then they have that. Now they go on, now they're like, wow, it's not nearly as terrifying. And then they do their shows in class, and then they know how to. Now, not only do you have the show, but you're prepared, but you know how you built that show. It's not, a teacher, it's not, some people do what the teacher does it for you, and you've got this couple minute show that's, okay, this may be a good show from that class, but you don't know how it was built because the teacher kind of did it for you. Oh no, not good enough for me. I want you to know how you built that show. So when you start to do it again, you can build another show and build another show and keep doing it and build to that 30 minutes worth of material so that you're employable. There's money to be made out there. I've got friends who make $15,000 for 45 minutes work.
What?
I've got a bunch of more friends that make $5,000 for 45 minutes work. And 10, they do it in the corporate world, or they do it on cruise ships. There's all these things. You get, but you got to be squeaky clean. They do it in the corporate world. They make massive amounts of money. They all, I'm just telling you, it's out there. You see, if you conquer these things here and manage it, it gives you the courage to get on stage and feel, I don't know if it's comfortable, but feel, it's manageable again. It's manageable. Okay. It may never go away. Mine never did. It's manageable. It's not holding you back or stopping you anymore. That's when it's manageable. So this is a guy named Alex DeStefano. He came to my classes. He had never even hardly ever told a joke. He did more music stuff. He was terrified. He'd never been on stage as a comedian. He'd never performed. He played music, but he didn't really go and do shows and stuff. But that's what he was saying. But he wanted to be a comedian. This is his show after this class. This is his final show, the final 1 minute show that he put together. And you just look at it for yourself, because he knew nothing. And this is not, oh, he wrote it this way. No, this was developed over the whole period of time. I know we rewrote these jokes many, 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 many times, and he wrote them even many more, etc., to develop this. Now look at this is and he makes mistakes in here and he handles it. Just watch, because this guy he says he had some stage fright. This guy was terrified when he first came. He actually, you could see him shake. This is where after this class only, this is what he did.
I think I got a lot of good material in my head that I could write with, but I just got to get over a little bit of stage fright.
Yeah, Alex.
All right, thanks everybody for supporting virtual comedy. It's my first time doing this. This all feels like a dream to me, but I think that's because I ate the mushrooms before the show. I might start to see trails, so just forgive me. Be with me. I just went camping on a 6-week camping vacation, living in a tent for 6 weeks. I was homeless in Skid Row. Yeah, I had a mental health incident. I had to move back in with my parents. It's okay though, it's not a bad thing. My mom's a good cook. Problem is she cooks crystal meth. Yeah, my dad always said my ass was good for nothing. So I started smuggling heroin in my anus. Yeah, I just got my unemployment. Oh, fuck, I just fucked up. I think it's because I smoked too much weed. I just got a pay raise. Yeah, I got my unemployment check. I went to a gender reveal party. They called the cops to me because I was the only one to reveal my gender.
Now, like or not like these jokes or whatever, we can't guarantee an audience will laugh, but what you can guarantee that everything you say are jokes. Everything he says is a well-written, tight joke. Might not be your sense of humor yet. Look at it and go and understand, wow, he went from joke to joke to joke, and they were short and tight, no wasted words, no anything like that. This may not be your style. Again, many of you might want to tell a story. Yet you still have to learn how to write concise jokes, etc. So just to let you know, this is just after. Understand, he started from nothing. He'd never done anything even like stand-up comedy in his life. He'd never written anything. Now, that's what kind of a show he comes up with in just a few weeks. So here we go. Let's keep going into the next thing. Performing with confidence. I think that's what almost everybody's after. Well, let me tell you a secret. Confidence is earned. It's not something you get. It's not a gift. It's not a present for the millennials out there. It's not something you can order and it's delivered by FedEx. It's something you have to earn. Okay. There is no substitute for stage time. The question is, are you getting up and going through all that fear and all that psychological stuff and getting up in front of audiences at open mics and small shows and all kinds of stuff? Are you up there practicing good technique, or are you trying to figure out what is good technique? Okay. Are you performing well-structured jokes, or are you trying to figure out what are jokes? You're going to go through all that to get up and perform. You just might want to be doing all the right techniques and principles and skills and practicing and getting better at those things, rather than just floundering around and talking and trying to figure it out. I got 40 years. I figured it out. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. I'll show you how to build a wheel is what it comes down to, because I've got 40 years on that. Okay. So here's what some of the things that we're going to help you with in order to build the confidence. So complete your assignments at 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day, 6 days a week. Give me an hour a week, but give me 10 minutes a day. like Kevin said, your unconscious mind will start to integrate this stuff. And the purpose of now, I've read some neuroscience on the whole purpose of sleep. One of the major purposes of sleep is to solve that day's problem. So you couldn't solve how to write that joke or routine the next day, it'll come to you. Or day after that, your unconscious mind while you're sleeping. Half the work is done while you're sleeping. Okay, use the teacher's feedback. We're giving you we're showing you the techniques that you can use and take them and use them and figure it out. We're going to teach you how to use the techniques, use them and use them in other places. Prepare your in-class performances. We ask people to do a short little show, and some people don't work on it at all because they're like, well, I can blame it on not having tried. Wow, really? That's what you want to give yourself? Okay, well, all right. I say give it your best shot, fail a little bit, and learn how to improve it, because it's not failure. It's not, to me, good stand-up comedy is not about talent. It's mostly about knowledge. It's more about knowledge than it is talent. And I've seen many untalented, what I consider not very talented performers become pretty damn good stand-up comedians because they know how to structure jokes. They know how to put it together. That's what they're doing. So attend the week. We have a weekly office hours where you can come in and you can get help with your assignments, hang out, listen to other people, et cetera, do their work. Okay, we're offering you work. Once a week you can come in for an hour and get help. I don't know any other stand-up comedy class that does this. We have our open mics. We have IRL open mics, and we are in real life open mics, and we have a Zoom open mic. Okay, we have access to, we can work with you on. Do those. Okay, the sooner you can get that 1 minute show, the more comfortable you'll feel going and doing it, because you have that 1 minute. And build that show, build that routine, that 1 minute show at 5+ laughs per minute. Telling you, you get on a stage with a show that you know has got structured 5+ laughs per minute. You're still going to be scared, but it's so much better and the more often you get up and do it, and it gets stronger, and you know where the laughs are, and you get better at performing it, the more confidence you're going to get, because confidence is earned. It's earned. Stage time, learning, failing and overcoming it, and going blank and figuring out how to get out of it, and a joke not working and learning how to bring the audience back. The more you do those things, that's what gives you confidence, is getting into trouble and working your way out of it and realizing, oh, God, I can get in trouble. I was afraid of that before, but I was so afraid of going blank. I went blank and found that it's no big deal. Oh, that gives you confidence. And that's one of the last steps we're working with you on, is all this is set up to take you through all the stuff to have the show that you feel good about getting on stage. Again, not only do you know it's a good show, it's well written and everything, do you know how it got built? That's just as important, knowing how it was built. So, Kevin, take over.
You got it. So the class includes the PDFs and handouts for the assignment, and they're in digital form, so you can print them or you can just use them as fillable PDFs, but even better, you can keep them because they have all the explanations of the stuff that we go over. We're going to give you Zoom support and training. Now, we have people who say, is it different in the Zoom class than in the real life class? It's the same exact material. We're just going to tailor it on Zoom to fit a different medium. Zoom is smaller. You don't see the people. Any comedian that you see the whole body of, they're so small when they get back there. You don't see any facial expressions. There's a whole different way we want to work Zoom. But all of the skills that you learn to communicate your sense of humor work equally well on Zoom and in person. We also we record all the classes, and you can go ahead and review the classes all week. You can review them for about 2 weeks. Sometimes I leave them up a little bit longer. And you can, if you miss a class, you can always see the review as well. Then, being that it's a Zoom class, if you have to go on vacation or something, you can always pull us up on your phone. We don't recommend that as a good plan, but it's possible. We've had students do it. We have weekly office hours to help on assignments. Not only that, you'll be part of our stand-up community, and you'll be able to go to office hours even when you're not enrolled in our classes. So that's pretty cool, because you become part of the family, part of our community. We want to become your stand-up comedy support network. That's what we want to do. You can direct message the teachers and students. Once again, part of our global community, we're going to teach you about something called Slack, and that's where one part of our global community is. The other global community is, of course, on Facebook and Instagram. And we have free weekly open mics. Right now, we're just doing one because we scaled back for the summer because people are on vacation, and even people in Europe take the whole month of August off. So we had less traffic, so we just took it down, but we will be bringing more back as time goes on. So check it out. The class starts next Thursday, August 19th. It's a live Zoom class, 7 to 10 p.m. Pacific time. It's 5 weeks long. There's limited seating. We do, like Greg said, we're going to go through all these things with you. So we can't have a huge class because it takes too long to go through everything if it's a huge class. So we really want to keep the class size down small. And check it out for tonight. You can pay in full $3.99, but you'll get a $50 discount if you pay in full. You just have to enter 50 Greg off.
Not going to do it.
Okay. Good thing I'm not named Jack. Okay. And that makes it only $3.49. Or you can go with the payment plan where you do $99.75 for 4 weeks, but the discount code doesn't work for that because it's the full price because of the stuff we have to do to run those 4 weeks of processing. All right. So you can go ahead and stick around right now. We are going to open it up to questions. You can click on the payment link in the chat if you want to go ahead and sign up. Classes start next week. They start filling up. So if you're interested, go ahead and take a little look at what we do. I think that you'll really find that we actually have substance. We actually have substance. All right, let's go to some Q&A. Any questions? Anybody have a question? Seema has a question. Hi, Seema.
Hey, hi again. So as you know, I'm from Nepal and right now it's 9 a.m. here. So which means the timing is fine, the 7 to 10, which would mean I can do morning classes. It's just that I will not be able to do it like as in, I'm planning to fly to Boston after 2 weeks. For my son is getting enrolled into Northeastern University. So we're going to drop him. Do you have any next session? Because I really want to do this. I don't know how I'm going to fit in the managed time.
Well, you can come in from Boston. We got people coming in now from Georgia and all over the Indiana and different places and come in. So it would just be an evening. It would be a 4 o'clock class for you from Boston.
And how often, how frequently is the classes?
We don't know because the world has changed, Seema. Okay, with the Delta, we thought, oh, everything's we started doing real classes, and I closed down some of them, and we got another one that we're just we're hoping that the businesses don't get closed down because of the COVID in America, right? Because it's not we wear masks and do stuff except when you perform. There's things that we can do, social distance. We got a big club, everybody spreads out and stuff. But if they close, if they shut down businesses, they don't have choice. That's federal or it's state. So we don't know with these classes because if everything goes good and the whole world opens up, we won't have any more Zoom classes. So get us while you can is what I'm saying, is because once everything starts to open, Zoom is getting to be a harder and harder sell for us to fill up those classes. So, so take it while you can.
I want to do it through Zoom. It's just that I think your 7 o'clock will be Boston time, 10 p.m.
Yeah,
it'll be
Boston. No, it's 3 hours ahead.
No, it would be. Yeah,
10 to 1 would be a little difficult.
But if you're in Boston, it'd be 4 o'clock Boston time.
No,
4 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's 3 hours ahead of us. So if it's 7 o'clock on the Pacific time, it's 10 o'clock in Boston.
Oh, okay. So then we have one on the Eastern Coast time, if we have it.
Yes, if we run it, it'll be 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock Pacific time.
So yeah.
So that's 7 to 10 Eastern.
That would be 7 to 10 Eastern time in Eastern time for the Eastern time class. So I'm going to have Kevin talk to you afterwards a little bit after I get going because that's logistical stuff. Anybody else have a question about stand-up or something you want to know?
And you don't know when you're going to start doing those in-person classes. It's
Again,
all
talk
up
to
in the air.
Kevin after I
Yeah.
go because there's some information about that that's around as well. And all because I'm trying to ask about this particular class or stand-up in general. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you,
So,
Greg.
Kevin, I'm going to take off because
All right.
we're moving, and that's why I put on the headsets. Is the movers are bringing stuff into the house. It's making a lot of noise around here. So, will you give Kevin your email? Try to be funny. Would you give him your email? Can I contact you by email?
Yeah, sure, of course. I just saw the book that was on your PowerPoint.
Yeah.
On your, yeah.
The Chinese woman.
Yeah.
That's the book. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I get royalties from China. We thought we'd have a trouble getting money. I've got no money from Indonesia. Indonesia totally screwed me, but China has been great. They're fantastic. It's been really nice. It's been real.
There should be more people reading that book in China.
Then tell them, put it down, put it out on the social media for me. Give your email to Kevin and he'll give it to me, and you and I'll stay in touch too if you take this class or not.
And
okay?
in this class. Yeah, sure.
Excellent, because there's other things that we're going to be doing in China. Maybe you can be a part of it as well. That'd be fun.
We definitely can do that. Yeah.
Excellent. So thank you all for showing up and being here and listening and stuff. I hope to see you in the class, and Kevin's going to stick around for a few minutes and answer some other logistical questions. See, the way that we work stuff is I never deal with money and the classes and who signs up. My job is to write the curriculums, train the teachers, and take care of you guys. That's all I do anymore. That's why I have a staff. So, you know, my full time is teaching you and making sure you guys learn that, you know, we're here to be of service. That's what we're here for. So thanks for dropping by, and I hope to see you in class one way or another. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Good night, Greg. All right, real quickly, Seema, just for you, just so you know, our classes are on a 6-week cycle. It's 1 free intro and then 5 weeks of classes. So if everything's going as planned, we will be having every 6 weeks another Zoom class starting with the 101. So that's a possibility. But again, things have been up in the air and we never know. And comedians are notorious for signing up at the last minute, so we never know who's in what class. It drives us absolutely bonkers. Andrew, we are doing classes live now. You could sign up. It would be on Tuesday night in North Hollywood at the Comedy Chateau. So that's already going on. It starts at the same time as this class goes. Not that we want to have you not be in the Zoom class, but you are in North Hollywood, so you might as well
Mr.
go.
Felix.
Yeah,
I got one of his classes. I took one of them, but I didn't know that was you guys.
Yeah, no, Felix is a Deaner. A Greg Dean student.
Oh, that's
yeah,
cool.
Yeah. We're actually teaching classes at the Comedy Chateau now. We have a partnership with them, so it's really nice.
Same price.
Yes.
Cool.
Same price as online. Just go to the standupcomedy.com Greg Dean website, and on there you can see all the different dates. Right now we have one live 101 class and 2 Zoom 101 classes, and the 2 Zoom 101 classes are on Thursdays. One's at 4 p.m. Pacific and one's at 7 p.m. Pacific. Although based on participation, we may consolidate. We'll have to see.
And the majority of the classes are at the Chateau, though, right?
Yeah, all the classes are at the Chateau. And it's the same material. Obviously, when you're actually on the physical stage, it's gonna be, you know, it's a different experience than on Zoom. But Zoom has some really, really fun stuff about it. We got Seema from Nepal, and not only that, she's got all this crap on her bookcases behind her. So if I were doing a comedy show, I'd start bagging on all the crap behind her. You can do that with every single person has a microphone and something behind them. If the background looks too good, you can say it's a virtual background. If it looks like hell, you can ask them, why didn't you put up a virtual background? In other words, there's different things you can play with in Zoom, and it's still fun, and I love the international aspect of it. But it is great to get on a stage. When you're standing, you have more autonomic body responses. What that means is you gesture more and you move more when you're standing than when you're sitting. So it's better to do it. And even in our class, when we do the Zoom, we request that you stand when you do your Zoom. But we don't typically see anybody from the waist down. There are things that look ridiculous on Zoom. Like I said, if you're going to try to get your whole body on Zoom, your back so far it looks stupid. And then people who need a microphone, but then the microphone's not working, that drives me crazy too. You don't need a microphone. We're in a meeting. It's not a club. It's a meeting. Let's not try to pretend that this medium is that. Our sense of humor can be communicated over either medium. No problem. But let's not mix them up. I think it is funny when people come to the open mic and they got their microphone in their hand, especially if it's on, okay, well, it's on. But if it's not on, as soon as the audience goes in their head, they're like, what the hell? That thing's not on. Why is it holding it? But again, if you're going to be performing live and you use your hands a lot, you're going to want to practice with a microphone, because you got to figure out where the microphone is going to be at what point during the bit. Is it in the stand? Is it in your hands? Do you do something with your right hand? Then it has to be in your left hand, etc. So there's a whole different microphone techniques, a whole nother thing, but we don't really deal with that on Zoom. But again, you could come to office hours, and in office hours, you can ask any kind of question at all, mic technique, all that kind of stuff.
So Kevin, sorry, I'm just trying to figure out my time. If I do join, I would want, when I'm in Nepal, I would want to be a part of this 7 to 10 p.m. class. But then when I do travel, can I shift the time, or you have a set time?
How many classes would you have to shift? Would it just be for two? I think 2 weeks, I think.
No, the thing is, I fly to the US on 25th. I mean, I leave Nepal 25th, I'll reach on 26th. And I might have to miss those 3, 4, 5 days, I'm guessing, because of the jet lag and trying to settle in my son. And then maybe, and so is it okay to miss classes, or you wouldn't recommend, you wouldn't suggest, or can I get recorded class?
We have people that miss classes. What it is it comes down to who you are as a person and your time you're going to put in. We've had plenty of people who miss class. They watch the video, they get all the information, they go to office hours and ask a couple questions, they get their homework done, and it's just the same. In fact, it's not bad at all, because they can fast forward through all the jibber jabber babble stuff. So it's not bad to do it that way, but we usually don't recommend that. It's usually better to be part of the actual class, to be able to ask questions in real time and receive feedback from the class members and the teachers in real time. So our goal is to make it work for you. I don't know that we can make it work completely for you, but you know what? If you could give me the dates, what your dates are, like what weeks you're going to be, you can do it through email. Just hit kevin.comstock@gregdeanstandupcomedyclasses.com, or you can just always info@gregdeanstandupcomedyclasses. When you join our community, we put you into Slack. If you've ever used Slack, it's just a message service type of thing, but we can put documents and pictures in it. And we have a whole community. Right now, we have good news. One of our students, she studied with us about this time last year. And she just got a Hulu special, a 30-minute Hulu comedy stand-up show. She films it in 2 or 3 weeks, and then it's going to air fall 2022. Nishi XL is her name. She's just fabulous. And this, if you're trying to make this happen, we really can be a good support system for you. You don't have to go through this alone. You're already alone when you're on stage.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm technically not, because I'm a ventriloquist.
Yeah, no, there you go. You definitely have multiple personalities going on and different POVs. So any more questions?
The 10-minute homework every night, that's going to do the same for the Chateau?
Yeah, it's the exact same class. It really is the exact same class. Cool. So yeah, it's all the same homework, all the same presentation materials, and all that type of stuff.
And it's every Tuesday?
That one is on Tuesday. Before I confirm that, let me just double check the calendar, because we just changed classes. Yes, it's Tuesday. The 101 class is Tuesday from 7 to 10 p.m. at the Chateau. You can sign up by going to the stand-up comedy link that's in the chat, and you just have to scroll till you see the live class. And let me write my email.
Appreciate it. I'm going to
How
head
you
on
doing?
out.
All right, Julian, you take care, brother.
I'm doing good, man. I miss you, man.
I know. I
Things
was
are
wondering
going
where you
good
were.
here. I'm in good
Yeah, you
old
doing some
Florida.
shows?
So what?
You doing some shows? You doing
Say
some
again?
shows? You doing some shows?
Yep. We got a show. I got one coming up September 4th here, and I mean shows are still going on here. So
You staying away
luckily
from
we're
COVID?
kind of. I mean, dude, if I got it, I got it now. I guess I don't know. Been out and about, so it's kind of like I took my chances. But no, yeah. So things are still popping off here. It's fun. Do miss you guys. Wish I could have caught your open mics and stuff. I thought this was the one. That's
Yeah,
why I was like,
right now
let
we're
me
just
hop
doing
on.
we're just doing the one at noon on Tuesdays right now. We're gonna probably ramp them back up. We just right now there's everybody's enjoying summer and all the weirdness, and when everybody got stimulus checks, that's when everybody was signing up for classes and stuff. So times are a little harder right now. All right, Seema, did you get my email? Yeah.
There you
Yes,
go.
I did. Thank you. So, sorry, Kevin, I just want to, when will this class end? Like, what is the date? It starts on the 19th.
Yeah, let me go. I'm gonna go through the calendar for you and just double check it. The last class would be on September 16th.
Okay, that's when I'm flying back. All right. And would you be sharing the classes that I missed? You could share the recording, right?
Yeah. We actually post it in our Slack community, but it's posted privately. Only the people in your class are going to see your videos, or you would see their class, because we do consider material to be proprietary information. We don't want anybody stealing jokes, and especially in the beginning class, a lot of times people haven't gotten really comfortable opening up yet, and so they feel they don't want to know, they don't want their spouse to know they're doing comedy about them or whatever.
Right. Great. Thank you.
Great, everybody. Great to see you guys. I got your email, and that's about it. No any more questions? Y'all guys all good?
Thank you.
Take a look at other comedy classes. I really believe in Greg's methods. I really do. It's heavy, and you don't have to aspire to be a professional to take the class. In fact, we've had a lot of lawyers, salespeople, teachers, and things like that take the class as well. All right, everybody. Go ahead.
Sorry, you say other classes. What are the other classes options that I could consider?
Right now, for Zoom, there's just two. There's just Thursday at 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time, and Thursday 7 to 10 p.m. Pacific time. And if you were in LA, there's one other option, the live one that Andrew was talking about.
So it's every Thursdays, is it?
Yeah,
I'm
every
confused.
Thursday for 5 weeks.
All right. So basically, I need 5 Thursdays.
Yeah, you would need 5 Thursdays, or, again, we've had people on vacation in motorhomes with their computer, and they'll take the 3 hours away from their family and do it. Again, to have a quiet environment where you don't have distractions and where you don't feel self-conscious. We did have one lady who was on vacation. She was sharing a hotel room with her parents and her 2 kids, and we asked her to reenact an argument, and she just couldn't get angry with them in the room. So that's it. Sometimes we tell people you need to isolate yourself, but they don't always do that because people do what they want to do. We also don't recommend taking the class on an iPhone, because it's nice to be able to pop up whatever documents and stuff we're using at the same time. But we still have people who take it on the iPhone. There's nothing we can do. We can ask everybody not to, but they still will do it.
All right, great.
All right, guys.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you guys. Tell Nepal I said hi.
Hello and bye. Thanks.